Hi students, this video is going to be discussing what I call the genre pattern. The first thing we need to do is figure out what genre actually means. Alright, so genre, if you type it in to Google, it's described as a type of art, literature, music. I'm going to say writing, so a type of writing characterized by a specific form, content, and style. Alright, so a type of writing that has specific form, content, and style. With that understanding of what genre is, let's go to chapter 1, page 3 in the textbook. And it's going to talk to us about why genres and understanding the form, content, and style of different types of business writing is important. Okay? So in the book it says, genres do much more than help you to organize your ideas. They're going to help you understand what's going on around you. And genres are not necessarily a formula or a recipe that you follow mechanically. Instead, genres reflect the practices of workplaces. They are flexible, allowing them to be adapted to many different types of projects. All right? So basically, what I'm going to be teaching you in this video is the type of form, style, and content that most business documents have. I don't want to say all business documents, but every type of document I personally have come across fits in to the genre that I'm going to show you. Alright? You can read more about genres in the technical workplace and things like that, but basically what I'm going to show you is what I call the genre pattern. Maybe I should write that in big letters right here. The genre pattern. Okay. So every single business document I've encountered in my life so far that fits this pattern. Now, the way I'm going to go about achieving all of these things in the document itself is going to be different. In an email, I'm going to use things that are standard to the genre of an email. If I'm sending a text, I'm going to do different things than I would in an email. If I sent a memo, it's going to be different than a letter. If I did a report or a proposal, it's going to be different than perhaps a grant proposal or a market description. All right, there's going to be lots of different types of documents you will encounter in the workplace, but you can use this pattern to achieve your goal in any of those documents. It's so important. I never want you to forget it. Learn it, love it. You know, write this down and sleep with it under your pillow, put it on your fridge, whatever you need to do. Basically, the opening, the body, and the closing, I want to fix my formatting here. The opening, the body, and the closing of any business document is going to do the same thing. It's going to have the same moves that you're going to make. So in the opening of a business document, the first thing that you're going to want to do is establish credibility. Maybe you need to say who you are. Maybe you need to say something about your expertise. All right. Now what's interesting is in an email that might look different. In an email that might simply be your name in the from field. That's how you establish your credibility. Or in the email perhaps you establish your credibility at the end of the email in your signature. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but when I sign off on an email, let's see, you can see at the bottom here, this is my signature on the bottom of an email. Perhaps that is how I establish my credibility in an email setting. All right, so maybe that comes down at the bottom, but it's going to be in my document. All right. After you establish your credibility, the next thing that you want to immediately do is indicate your purpose for writing or communicating. Tell the reader why you have created this document. You need to tell them very clearly using the paramedic method, and you want to do this at the beginning. Then if you've got a longer document, 1 page or longer, you want to go into the roadmap, how you are going to go about the rest of the document. So perhaps this is a table of contents in a report or a proposal. Perhaps it's just a sentence or two at the beginning of a memo that says, this memo is going to cover the following information, and then you give them the information. This is going to help guide your reader. Remember how we talked about how business writing is reader-centered? Talking about the roadmap is going to help your reader understand what is to come. After that, you've got the body of the document where you put your supporting details, where you put your evidence. So in the body of the document, you want to follow through with your roadmap. If you say that you're going to talk about something in a specific order, A, B, C, then in the body of your document, you want to make sure that you follow that same order, A, B, C. If you mix things up, it's going to be confusing, and we don't want to be confusing. We want to be clear. Then you make sure that you have achieved the purpose. If your purpose for writing, let's say in your cover letter or your application letter, let's say your reason for writing is to prove why you are the best candidate for the job. In the body of that letter, you are going to want to make sure that you do indeed prove that. If in your proposal, your purpose is to propose a specific course of action for the company to take, in the body, you are going to want to back up why you think that that is the best course of action. Then in the closing, you want to indicate your next steps, either what you are going to do or what you want the company to do, a look to the future. So if we go back to our proposal example, and you're proposing a specific course of action, in your closing you might begin to look at what next steps the company needs to take in order for your suggestion to be implemented. If you're writing that application letter, you might talk about how the person can get a hold of you to take the next step of securing an interview. All right? And then at the end, you want to thank the reader for their time. That might look different depending on what kind of document it is. In an email, you end with a valediction, sincerely, best wishes, see you tomorrow, comma, and then your name. In a cover letter situation, you're going to end with sincerely and then your name. In a memo, you actually don't sign off at all, but maybe you have the last line say, thank you for your time. All right, it's just a courtesy. So that is the genre pattern. It can be applied to anything we do in this class, even the resume. The opening of your resume should establish your credibility. It should be clear that it is a resume from the very beginning, and the resume's purpose is to showcase your skills. The body of the resume should then showcase your skills, and then the closing is a little bit different in a resume because you just kind of end it. I have the class end their resume with a conversation starter, which perhaps could be defined as a look to the future. You want to start a conversation when you get to that interview. So this genre pattern is flexible enough that it can be applied in many different ways, but I'm going to be referring to it over the course of the semester. So when I talk about you're being graded on your use of the genre pattern, or I'm looking for these specific things that correspond with the parts of the genre pattern, this is what I am talking about.